Now on to the real big news of the day. Mitt Romney has selected Paul Ryan as his vice presidential candidate, and immediately after the announcement, can you believe it? The left went into hyper-attack mode and the smears began. David Axelrod wrote a blog post on Obama's website that claimed Paul Ryan designed, quote, the extreme GOP budget that would end Medicare as we know it. He also said Ryan's plan would give tax breaks for millionaires while raising taxes on the middle class. We've got to get to this one. Barack Obama's website posted its 5 facts you need to know about Iran, including Paul Ryan is severely conservative. Oh, no. It would take us backward on women's health and equal rights. Russell Simmons tweeted that Romney and Ryan will, quote, destroy our people. Pictures of Ryan's high school yearbook immediately surfaced, in which he was voted most likely to brown nose. 60 Minutes spent most of its exclusive big first interview bugging Romney and Ryan about releasing their tax returns. And then there was the all-important report from CNN that had Ryan not wearing a tie to the VP announcement. There he is, tieless. How could somebody do that? Tieless. Their own Candy Crowley quoted unnamed Republicans who called the Ryan pick some sort of ticket death wish. Who are those unnamed reporters or Republicans? It wouldn't be Lindsey Graham and John McCain, would it? Now, Paul Ryan, despite what everybody says, doesn't want to kill old people. We have it on a good report here at GBTV. He also doesn't want to attack women or hurt the poor. We're still investigating the attacking women part of that. He was a great pick, and when all the old, he wants to attack women and starve the poor, and he just hates old people and wants to push them off a cliff, when all that dust settles, Americans will see that he is exactly the kind of leader that America needs. This has shown Mitt Romney to be not as lacking, how can I say this, things in his underpants that he should have. I thought for a while he was lacking a few things that were in his underpants, and he, was a sissy. And he's not. He's also very astute when it comes to political games. This is so brilliant because this is something that we haven't seen from Romney yet. He has forced Obama's hand. While the Obama administration wants to talk about everything, anything but the economy, putting Paul Ryan on the ticket forces them to talk about his extremist proposal for addressing the budget and the economy. So guess who can't avoid talking about the economy anymore? Here's the best part. And this is what I want you to remember tonight. Paul Ryan is extraordinarily easy to defend. Mark my words, at some point you're going to find yourself in a conversation with a family member or some pinhead friend who will launch into all kinds of attacks and smears and everything that they've heard from the other side, and you're going to want to defend them, but you'll be like, well, wait. Remember this, he's easy to defend. Tonight, I'm going to tick off a couple of things on the attacks against Ryan and arm you with the facts so you have them. Let's start with the most prominent attack, the one on the so-called extreme Ryan budget. Now, many of the attacks you're going to hear on Ryan stem from the items in the extreme Ryan budget. But by adding extreme, Democrats hope to make it sound really spooky, scary, boo! But considering America's debt to GDP ratio continues to rise as our debt spirals out of control, boo! Each year, Obama runs up record deficits. New entitlements keep coming and the old ones keep expanding. I think it might be time for something maybe a little extreme, because this ain't working. Ryan is the first budget proposal that would actually deal seriously with a coming economic Armageddon that we're facing, and still do it without being really extreme. A lot of people that I know think he's not extreme enough. Instead of making the whimsical promises of a green economy saving the day or believing that we need to spend more to reduce the deficit like Biden said, Ryan's plan actually addresses bloated government agencies and reduces spending by more than $5 trillion over 10 years. I don't think it's enough, but it does address Fannie and Freddie. Namely, it seeks to get them out of the mortgage industry and put them back into the hands of the private sector where they belong. It cuts $100 billion in pork from sacred cows like the Defense Department. It cuts the tax rate for all and simplifies the tax code from 6 brackets to 2. It cuts the corporate tax rate to 25%. Cutting corporations' tax. Yeah, you know what? Under Obama, we became the highest corporate tax rate in the world. That's why nobody's doing business here. It reforms the biggest strain on America's economy, Medicare, and say what you want, but it can't be as bad as President Obama's budget, which lost in the House by the narrow margin of 414 to 0. And then again in the Senate, where it was very close, 99 to 0. He couldn't get a single vote. Ryan proposed a budget that I think at the time he could only get 6 or 7 Republicans on board with. It took great courage to propose the budget. He knew that he would be demonized. He was right. It took courage to put him on the ticket. Paul Ryan's budget is extreme, which I believe it has to be if we don't want America to become the next Greece. Thank God Ryan has the guts and the things in his underpants to be the only adult in the room and tackle it head on. And by the way, if it was so extreme, why did the Democratic senator from Oregon co-write the portion of his Medicare proposal? That's where we go next. Ryan's Medicare reform. In the proposed budget has the left making all kinds of accusations. Mostly, they're trying to scare elderly people into thinking somehow or another Ryan will take away their Medicare and cause them to get sick and die. And after all, Romney gives people cancer. But is that so bad? I mean, is it a bad thing to end Medicare as we know it? Because ask the president. The president in last July said Medicare as we know it is doomed. Watch.
Number one, if you look at the numbers, then Medicare in particular will run out of money, and we will not be able to sustain that program, no matter how much taxes go up.
No matter how much taxes go up. So Ryan's plan doesn't destroy Medicare. Doing nothing will destroy Medicare and the rest of the country, and certainly stealing $700 billion from Medicare to spend it on different Obamacare functions will also kill Medicare. But here's what the Ryan plan does. In a nutshell, I want to show you how Medicare works. Medicare right now, there's some bureaucrat in Washington that says, okay, toenail fungus, we're not going to pay for toenail fungus. Heart surgery, we'll pay for that. Baby bottles, well, we don't want to have a war on women. Sure, we'll pay for baby bottles. Broken arms, all right, 1 more year of broken arms we'll pay for, okay? Then they say, toenail fungus, you're on your own. Heart surgery, we're going to pay $1.85. Baby bottles, $250,000. Because remember, they're Washington bureaucrats. Broken arms, $55. That's how it works. They give the doctor $55 for a broken arm or whatever it is. You better hope that that's what the doctor charges for broken arms. That's why people are not taking Medicare anymore, because they can't make any money. But if you have a sweetheart deal with the government, they'll pay you $250,000 for a baby bottle, then you'll be all right. But you can't make any money as a doctor. This system doesn't work. Now, here's what Ryan's plan does. Instead, Ryan's plan has this. The government gives you the dollars, and then you give it to the insurance provider or the doctor. That's how it works. You choose which private insurance plan you'll be able to get all the baby bottles you need or all the birth control or whatever, but it puts you in charge. It puts the power back into the market. And the market decides, not the people in Washington. Well, now, wait a minute here. Furthermore, if you still want to use Medicare the old way, if you say, this is far too dangerous and crazy for me, I'd much rather have this system. Well, you can still have that, but they've tested this. They've tested the Ryan approach, and they've shown the results here. That's not going to happen. Nobody's going to use that one. The Ryan approach actually reduced spending by nearly 10% in a single year while providing seniors with the same comprehensive insurance coverage. So while Barack Obama and his supporters fearmonger to America's seniors and tell them Ryan wants to push you off the bridge with a wheelchair, it's not true. It's not true. The only danger to Medicare right now is the candidate who does nothing to stop the coming train wreck. And that candidate is Barack Obama. Now, here's the next big attack on Ryan. He's radical on social issues. Is he? I'm so sick of this. Obama wants you to know that Ryan is one of those crazy social conservatives who wants to take away women's rights. He's going to put a pup tent in your wife's uterus. It's going to happen. That's right. Quote, Ryan co-sponsored a bill that would ban common forms of birth control, in vitro fertilization, and abortions even in rape or incest. The attack often fails to give a source, and here's why. They're getting that claim from the fact that Ryan supported the Sanctity of Human Life Act, which in its entirety reads, to provide that human life shall be deemed to begin with fertilization, end quote. That's it. It was supported by 62 other Republicans. There's no 2,000 pages of legislation along with it. That's it. No contraception could be banned because that's it. That's fear-mongering and lies for you. That's Washington. Finally, tax cuts for the rich. The claim is that both Ryan and Romney's tax plans will give the wealthy huge tax cuts they don't need. Who are you to decide? Quote, Ryan's extreme budget plan would benefit the wealthy while raising taxes on the middle-class families. Oh, is that true? No. It's true that tax rates will be lowered for the wealthy, but it will also be lowered for all other tax brackets as well. So how did Obama's Truth Squad arrive at the false conclusion? You're going to love this. They cite a report from the Tax Policy Center where they assume that there's just no other way to pay for tax cuts on the wealthy, except for increasing the taxes on the middle-income earners or the poor. They don't even consider the possibility that reducing rates will lead to increased tax revenue, which is supported by history over and over and over again. That's the way it works. So instead, on their own, outside of the budget and all of the proposals, they conjure up a new tax increase on the middle class out of thin air. Come on. Are we really this stupid now? It shouldn't come as a surprise to learn that the Tax Policy Center, a joint venture of the Brookings Institute, funded by, it's redundant, isn't it? Oh, but he is so sexy. If I would have known he was single, I would have been there in a heartbeat. Here's why they are really on the attack. Because there is more to Paul Ryan than just his budget plan. He's young, he's bright, he can defend his positions extremely well. He's already gone toe-to-toe with Geithner, with Biden, and Obama himself, and he comes out shining every single time. Watch.
America is an idea. It's the only country founded on an idea. Our rights come from nature and God, not from governments. Free enterprise and economic liberty, limited government and spending restraint, traditional family and community values, and a strong national defense. America deserves a choice, a chance to affirm these principles of American exceptionalism.
I don't worry about people who are already rich. I'm worried about getting people to become successful, removing those barriers so that people who've never seen success before can actually become successful.
Here's the point.
leaders are supposed to fix problems. We have a $99.4 trillion unfunded liability. Our government is making promises to Americans that it has no way of accounting for them. And so you're saying, yeah, we're stabilizing it, but we're not fixing it in the long run. That means we're just going to keep lying to people. We're going to keep all these empty promises going. And so what we're saying is, in order to avert a debt crisis, I mean, you're the Treasury Secretary of all. If we can't make good on our bonds in the future, who's going to invest in our country?
We need to reclaim our American system of limited government, low taxes, reasonable regulations, and sound money, which has blessed us with unprecedented prosperity. And it has done more to help the poor than any other economic system ever designed. Limited government and free enterprise have helped make America the greatest nation on earth. These are not easy times, but America is an exceptional nation.
We are all representatives of the American people. We all do town hall meetings. We all talk to our constituents. And I've got to tell you, the American people are engaged. And if you think they want a government takeover of health care, I would respectfully submit you're not listening to them.
He is a great pick. And he is a great pick because of this. Paul Ryan is very easy to defend. When someone has the truth on their side, they usually are easy to defend.